Yeah, but she tells me yada yada yada. Yeah, you told me first, but I mean, no, you told me, but you were the first to tell me, unlike anyone else I heard say it. So that's cool. You watch all these guys before I actually see them, so that's really cool. And I was like, see, that was nice of her to do that, but I just thought it was cool. But yeah, Andrew Luck is so Elway like. He reminds me so much of Elway, and y'all know how I feel about Elway. That is a bad dude, and I hope y'all all see that now. Anybody that thought I was just overhyping this dude and all that, no.
Well,
he is a bad dude, son.
Well, I think this is a great transition. I know we were going to talk about coaches hired, but I think given the topic, we should go straight to the playoff preview for this week. We have the Colts at the Patriots in the AFC, the Chargers at the Broncos, the Saints at the Seahawks, and the 49ers at the Panthers. I'll go to you first, Markeem. We just finished talking about the Colts What do you think about this game? And I should say the Patriots yesterday announced that Brandon Spikes would be going on injury reserve.
Which is just horrible. That means the middle of the field is going to be so open. But, I mean, he wasn't playing. But, dog, Andrew Luck is a bad dude. He is incredible. He is one of the best up-and-coming quarterbacks we have ever seen in this league. I believe that he is a special player, and he will be special. But his specialness will not be enough. The Patriots win this game.
Yay!
But I tell you what, though, I want to be wrong. I'm for the first time ever, I'm more concerned about being wrong than right. In my whole life. In my whole life with anything. I so want to be wrong right now. But I just don't see it. I don't see any way they go in the cold like that in a place that New England just owns and just beats, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and all those guys this late in the year. I can't see it happen. This team is too young for that.
Phil?
Well, if he does go in and beat us, he better go take care of business against Peyton. But anyways,
oh my God! If that happens, y'all will. Dog, if he beats Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and then hypothetically, let's say no really elite quarterbacks left in the NFC. So never mind. But it would have been cool. Let's say Aaron Rodgers would have made it all the way to the Super Bowl.
You say Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, Drew. Yeah, let's say Drew Brees makes it all the way to the Super Bowl. He beats him too. Oh shit! Y'all will never hear the end of it ever. Go ahead, Phil.
But anyways, I also have the Patriots here. I'm not gonna pick against my Patriots here. In this game, I think same thing. I mean, it's basic as Markeem said it. I think at home, I think after the bye, I think we're gonna have to do the one thing that Belichick's been having to do. He's doing it more lately, but is run the ball. We're gonna pound it. I honestly do think we're gonna actually do that this time. If you saw the Bills game, LeGarrette Blount in the rain was killing it. So if he can have that type of game against the Colts, I think it's just going to be hard. I mean, Edelman, has been beast. I just feel like here's the biggest thing. Belichick's biggest thing to do is to shut down your best guy and make you beat him elsewhere. Well, their best guy is Hilton, and without Hilton, that offense, I mean, Andrew Luck's going to struggle. And I think he's going to have to beat us without Hilton. Like, I'm not saying we're going to completely shut down Hilton. I mean, I don't think that's possible. But I don't think he's going to have a type of game he had against the Chiefs where the Chiefs just apparently forgot that he's the guy that they're going to. I mean, the dude was just open every play. I just don't think that's going to happen. They did sign Deion Branch. This would have kind of made me mad, but it is what it is. It's the NFL. This happens a lot. And plus, they had already worked them out before, so this was just like a plan that they needed a receiver. I think they lost. Did they lose somebody in the Chiefs game? I want to say they lost somebody, but anyways. Yes, because I mean, why else would they do it? But anyways, I don't think they did.
Oh, yeah, Greg Toller, their cornerback. Yeah, he was on IR. That's why they had an open spot.
Well, they lost a cornerback, but I'll talk about more receiver-wise. But I think they knew they needed that second guy. And, I mean, let's be honest, teams do it all the time. They were probably trying to see if Branch can get them some information. I don't think it's going to matter, but because it just never seems to work that way. But I think the Patriots get it done in this game. I think it's close. I think it's going to be a game. I'm not going to say it's going to come down to the wire, but I do think it's going to be close. It's going to come down. I really do think the running game is, everybody. It's not going to be the game where everybody gets to scream Brady in this game. So,
I hope you're wrong too, you son of a bitch. Go ahead, kid.
Couple things.
And he's going to run out of luck this weekend.
Oh God!
This Patriots defense, it does
something else. Spikes. I forgot to mention that.
It's underrated how bad this defense is, and even the players that you guys do have, the Devin McCourty and the Aqib Talib of the world. I saw a great article about this on both Patriots and Colts beat writers. Yes, we know it. Belichick, the Belichick game plan, take out the best weapon. They're gonna try to shut out T.Y. Hilton. I get it, but a guy like T.Y. Hilton's really hard to shut out, and I'm not saying it because he's like an all-star or anything like that, or like a Pro Bowler.
He will be, not yet.
Whatchamacallit? But okay, at some point. But he's not like that right now. But I just mean that his speed is just something that he may be the fastest receiver in the NFL, like one of. Like his 40 time I believe was the fastest, like in the past few years or something like that. He's someone that I think Belichick's going to try to shut out, but I don't think Belichick, as great as he is going to be successful in shutting out. I'd say that much.
He shut out Jimmy Graham.
That
It.
Was true. That is true. The Patriots, here's the thing about the Patriots. I know I'm a Patriots hater and all this and that. I never deny that. But me and my friend Brian were talking about this a few weeks ago, about the San Diego Chargers. Brian was telling me what people don't realize about the Chargers is that there's several unlucky bounces. There's several unlucky instances away from being 11-5, 12-4, as opposed to being 9-7. He was like, they had so many games where they were just like something really fluky or weird would happen towards the end, and that's why they'd lose. And it was just very unlucky, and they just needed a few bounces the other direction, and they would have had a better record. I think the Patriots are the opposite of that. I think the Patriots, and I think this is just fact, you can go to the Browns game on the onside kick and the Broncos game with the kick that ran into the Broncos' own return man. I think the Patriots are a few bounces, a few fluky things away from being 9-7, 10-6, as opposed to being 12-4. Of course, you don't agree with that at all.
Cleveland's the only.
That was funny how the kid said, "Of course, you don't agree with that."
I know you're going to say that, but Browns, I'll give you. But come on, Denver, come on.
Okay, yes. God forbid the ball bounced right.
About flukes? You mean when the team that never turns the ball over that much turn the ball over three times?
No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying I'm saying the Chargers compared to other teams had a lot of bad luck, while there's the Patriots compared to other teams had a lot of good luck. And I don't think that's particularly offensive to say. They also had that thing in the Saints game on that game-winning drive where the offensive lineman got held. And I know you can also say Luke Kuechly and Rob Gronkowski in the Panthers game. I'm saying that
the thing that happened
that makeup call.
The thing that happened with the Jets, you guys broke the rules. That's not a fluke.
Yeah, but it's still. Like one little fluke play that comes.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The Patriots are involved in a lot of like weird finishes. They have been all season. And Andrew Luck is a monster. Andrew Luck is really, really. I think in the playoffs, it's really, really hard to kill this dude. Even the Ravens last year, if you remember that game, that whole Colts team.
Say that again, kid. Say that again.
It's really hard to kill this dude.
There we go. Say it kind of seductive. Touch yourself when you say it.
God damn it, you're an asshole. The Ravens game, what people forget is that Ravens game, the entire Colts team played awful, except for Luck. And Luck kept them in it. And that was with an awful team against the team that eventually won the Super Bowl. With that being said, I think the Patriots win this game pretty convincingly, actually. Here's the thing.
This is way too much.
Brian? Yeah, I was trying to scare you. I was going the opposite direction there. The noted Patriot hater, Tom Brady, the new playoff choker. I'm obviously going to go against them. But,
as long as Peyton's still playing the game.
Tom Brady in the past.
Really? We really going to do this?
Tom Brady's been just as bad in the postseason since 2005 as Peyton Manning's been. I'm sorry. But people like to ignore that. But anyways, the
7-7. I just saw it the other day.
It's actually 7-7, I believe. But yeah, Tom Brady has had bad games against the likes of
He's like 3-3 since the last.
No, that's still 500, Phil. I'm saying his last 14 postseason games, he's 7-7.
No, that's not right.
Yeah, that is
Look
right.
it up. Look it up, Phil.
I don't think he's been said. No, that's not right.
Phil,
Look it up,
Phil. It's been over 10 years since they won a Super Bowl, so he has to have 7 losses. And he had a few one and dones, like against the Ravens in 2009 and the Jets in 2010.
Yeah, just go ahead.
But sorry, I'm just getting a lot of texts.
You just can't believe it, but it's true, Phil.
Yes, but either way, and whatever. Peyton has a higher. What's it? He also has a higher passer rating career in the playoffs.
Is this really Brady versus Peyton?
No, we're not doing this. But my whole point is, I've said this with Brian a lot. Me and Brian have talked about this a lot. Chuck Pagano is one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL. I know that everyone loves him because of the cancer and everything, and it's like really like you sound
we
like
love him because of the cancer.
Well, you know what I mean. You sound like an asshole because he's like a great story, and you can't like criticize him and everything. But he makes some really bad coaching decisions, even against the Chiefs. They wasted a lot of. I think they wasted 2 second-half timeouts before that comeback started. This is the guy that gets blown out by really good coaches. When he faced Bruce Arians, Jeff Fisher, and Andy Reid for most of that game, like they all kicked his ass. Bruce Arians and Jeff Fisher, like crazily, just destroyed him. And now he's facing Belichick. And yes, I know he beat Pete Carroll and he beat John Harbaugh and he beat John Fox. Still, that was all before.
John Fox is not a great coach.
But either way, that was all before they lost Reggie Wayne. Like he really he does a lot of coaching things that really bother me. And I think Andrew Luck has made him look better than he actually is. And I don't trust him to outcoach Bill Belichick. And I think this game is either going to be a really close game that the Colts win or a blowout for the Patriots. I do not see the Patriots winning by like 3 points. I just don't see it. It's possible, but I really think this is going to be an Andrew Luck like miracle breakout performance, or they're going to get killed in an embarrassing fashion like they did against the Cardinals, the Rams, even the Jets last year. Like Chuck Pagano has some really bad losses on his record. So I just don't trust him here. It's possible. I definitely wouldn't be surprised at all if the Colts win, but I'm not enough to bet them. And I bet against the Patriots more than I should. But I'm picking the Patriots here. So I think that.
Hope we're all wrong. Hope all of us look stupid. I mean, I'm not gonna look stupid because I know what Andrew Luck can do. I know. I've seen it.
I'm not gonna look stupid. I've told you right now, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Andrew Luck completely destroys that defense, which has lost everybody.
Say it again. Destroys.
Also, watch out for Donald Brown. Similar how Marquise...
Donald Brown. No, Andrew Luck.
Similar to how Marquise, before the Oregon-Arizona game, was just like, hey, just not saying anything great will happen, but pay attention to this one. Pay attention to Donald Brown. I'm not saying he's going to have like a 200-yard rushing performance, but now that they lost Brandon Spikes, they were already bad at stopping the run before he got hurt. I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Brown is one of the keys to them advancing drives and one of the key players of the game. Before Andrew Luck comes in and makes the amazing touchdowns, of course.
That's right.
But now we'll move on to the other game in the AFC, the Broncos, Chargers. Phil, you start with this one this time.
I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I really, once again, see no scenario where the Chargers win, but I do think it's a division game. Both games, the Chargers played the Broncos in. Of course, they won one of them. I think that was in San Diego, though. But and then the other one, both of them, they've held them to like 20 points. I think that's something like I don't think any other team.
Yeah, it's whatchamacallit. The Broncos' 2 worst offensive yards performance this season were both against the Chargers.
Right, both against the Chargers. So I think the Chargers.
I didn't know that. Good job. Yeah.
I actually kind of see maybe that the Broncos having a little bit of a slow start. One thing I will say this. Peyton Manning, if the game starts getting out of hand for the Broncos, I'm just saying if it gets out of hand for the Broncos, Peyton Manning needs to grab John Fox's headset and just tell him to sit down. I still stand by what I said last year. John Fox cost Peyton Manning a shot at the Super Bowl. I'm telling you that he made some very conservative calls, and Peyton, of course, threw an interception in overtime, but I'm not blaming him for that. Whatever. Yeah, he gets blamed for that throw, but I'm just saying I still think I'm not a huge John Fox fan. I'm still standing by that. But Broncos are going to win. There's just too many weapons. Walker will be back, and he's got to have a great game because he's going to make a huge drop in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. So. I'm just kidding. I'm being a troll. But no, for real, the Broncos are going to win. I just don't see, not a knock on what's his name? I forgot his name. Hans Carr's Charger. Sorry, he hated to know that no one picked him, but I just don't think they're gonna.
Well, who said no one picked him?
I would have, if we had this show, I would have picked them. It's on my record that Marvin Lewis will never win a playoff game.
I think just me. Not my bad. Not no one picked him.
Fair enough. Markeem, you.
Phil outdid my one tweet from last night. Like, Bobby Bowden should just come karate chop Jimbo Fisher and take his headset. That was great, Phil. Good job. You wanted to say the Broncos, right? Because they're better in every way, and Peyton Manning's having the greatest season at quarterback as ever. You want to just automatically say that. I think they'll win, so I'm going to pick them. But
you had me there for a second.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? It's just too fucking obvious. Like, I don't think it's going down like that. Like, dog.
Like I said someone's gonna beat them. I just don't think it's the Chargers.
Like it's too fucking obvious. Like, dog, the Patriots and the Broncos are just gonna win easily.
Yeah.
And it's just too obvious. I got the Broncos though, but I'm not very confident at all, but I'm not confident that they can do anything once they actually get going a mile high in the winter, especially as cold as it is. Them going to San Diego, from San Diego, California, to Mile High, as cold as it's been all around the country. Okay.
Very quick.
Usually I don't do that. I'd be like heat and cold. Usually I don't, but it's a factor. Now, if y'all been outside, like, what the fuck?
It's 20 in little old South Carolina. It's like, what is it, 20 degrees right now?
Something like that. It's gonna be 11 degrees tomorrow morning.
It was 19 earlier in the morning. I'm like, what the crap?
Yeah,
we live in South Carolina. It's crazy.
It's like fucking 55 degrees over here, man. It's just
and it's Florida. That's Florida.
It is brutal for us. But whatchamacallit, Trey Wingo's made a great point, because everyone I've read all week, oh my god, the Broncos, oh my god, Peyton Manning, playoffs, Mike McCoy knows him very well, the Chargers beat them in Denver last time. I've read all this stuff. Trey Wingo's, I thought, made the best argument of the week. The Broncos had Wes Welker the first time when they won. They didn't have him the second time when they lost. And that's not just because Wes Welker's a great player, but Wes Welker, as Trey Wingo said, is a drive saver. Phil, you know this.
Right. I saw him say that. I actually brought that up.
Wes Welker saves drives. And in a game, and San Diego is a ball control team. That's how they beat the Broncos. They just hold on to the ball forever. They have drives that take 10 minutes, and they don't give you the ball for very long. But Wes Welker is a drive saver. Wes Welker is the type of guy that really, really helps your team and really, really extends your drives and really, really gives you an edge. And that's why he's so important to beating the Chargers. It's not just because he's great. It's because on third down, third and short, 3rd and 8, Peyton's going to go to Wes, and Wes is going to save the drive. And I just see how that's going to go. I mean, I got the Broncos here as well. I think this one, in my opinion, this one's the easiest one of the 4, but I said that last year against the Ravens, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Chargers win this game. I'll be very sad and disappointed because I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan, but I just think of the 4, I think this one, in my opinion, this one's the easiest. I know you're all going to say the Saints game is, but in my opinion, this one is. But
I
think this game's going to be close, but I mean, I still think it's the easiest. Yeah, I do.
All right, okay. Next, speaking of, we'll go to the Saints versus the Seahawks. Phil, I guess we start with you. Saints, last time we played the Seahawks, got killed. And it was in Seattle, and it's in Seattle again. They got killed last time. So, Phil, what are your thoughts here?
Well, as we talked about earlier on my record, Seattle will never lose at home. Of course, they did. They lost once to the Cardinals. But in the playoffs, man, right now, until I see something now, granted, comes this is Saturday, it'll be Saturday, right? Come Saturday, after the game, I could change my mind. Win or lose. Obviously, if they lose, but Seahawks. I'm not betting against the Seahawks right now. That team at home, 12th man, playoffs, number 1 seed. You don't think that place is going to be rocking even more than it usually is? And the Saints, I mean, Drew Brees, he ain't going to be able to hear nothing. And I'm not saying that the Seahawks are going to go in there and cream him like they did on that Monday night. I think Peyton and Sean Payton and Drew Brees is not going to let that happen. But I just don't see. In the end, you got to go Seahawks. I just think the defense is a great defense in the regular season is great, but it's even better when it comes to playoff time. I just don't see if the Saints go in and win. I would be totally shocked if the Saints won this game. Totally shocked. Like I'm not gonna be shocked if it's close, but I am gonna be shocked if the Saints pull it out. I just would. I mean, I think the Seahawks win this, and that's basically all I gotta say.
Markeem.
All right, Matt Beast.
I don't think this is going to be a massacre, but I think the Seahawks win. I think Drew Brees will come in here trying to do too much because of what happened last time. I think he'll be, I hate to say it, but y'all know he has a knack of doing that, forcing the ball because, that's the one, if any issue, that's the one issue with his game. That's why his interception numbers are always so high. But, Russell Wilson, like, I'm not gonna lie, like everyone's like, if Peyton Manning wasn't having the season he is, would he have been the MVP and stuff? I don't think he's gonna do what people think he'll do against this pass defense. I actually think the Saints pass defense will play well. I mean, I think that this will be a well played game. I really do. But I think early the Saints will struggle, turn it around, but it won't be enough. So I think it'll happen.
All right, my turn. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as a hero pick. I'm picking the Saints to win.
Wow.
Nigga, you put the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and actually, I did.
Wow, you turn on this.
And if the Seahawks win this game, I'll pick them next week and everything. And I'm gonna. Part of me wants to stick with that, but I just got a real big gut feeling with this one. Here's why. A few things. If you remember when the New England Patriots played the Jets on Monday night a few years ago, they killed them like 45-3, and then the Jets played them in New England in the rematch, and the Jets won. Last year, the Broncos massacred the Ravens, like 38-17. The Broncos played them again, and they won.
I remember that.
I think this is one of those similar cases where, a great coached team, which the Saints are, obviously, get killed.
No, Sean Payton's all right. He ain't bad.
Where the Saints get killed and they come back for the rematch and they come prepared. And not only did I pick the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, I actually didn't have the Saints making the playoffs this year. I actually think they're a very overrated team. But this specific matchup, I don't know what it is. I think the Seahawks pass offense the past few weeks has been pretty bad, guys. Like the past few weeks, like the past 4 or 5 games, it's not been good. It wasn't good against the Cardinals. It wasn't good against the 49ers. And I don't know why it would be any better against the Saints. The Saints defense isn't terrible anymore. Keenan Lewis is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL now. I mean, he's hurt, I believe. I don't think he's out for this game. And I think the Seahawks' pass offense is going to struggle. And I think, I don't think the Saints can score much on Seattle. Seattle's pass defense, if y'all don't know, is rated the 4th best ever, according to FootballOutsiders.com.
Jesus, man.
So I think Drew Brees will struggle. And it's impossible to pick him on the road. But
Richard Sherman is on this all-time tear right now, son.
He is. But if you also remember, I'm also remembering you guys this, and I love Pete Carroll. I think he's a great coach. But against the Falcons last year, people forget how terribly coached that game was by Pete Carroll. That dude made some really, really bad decisions on 4th down, made some really, really bad decisions in the red zone. It was 20-0 for a reason. Like, he gave up a lot of opportunities to score points. He had poor clock management. He didn't know what to do on 4th down. Me and Brian have talked about this before. There are a lot of coaches, and sometimes a lot of great coaches, that when it comes playoff time, they get tight. They don't stick to what got them there. And Pete Carroll last year, I think, was an example of that. And I like him. I think he's a great coach. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if he starts coaching a bad game. Sean Payton starts doing things differently than he did against Seattle last time. And that Seattle's pass offense isn't that incredible as it once was. And I just have a feeling that the best coaches in the NFL, it's really hard to beat them twice. Really hard. It's really hard to beat Sean Payton twice. So I got the Saints here off a gut feeling. And I know Drew Brees is bad on the road. He was bad in that Eagles game for the first half. I mean, you know this, obviously, Markeem. That first half.
Oh, yeah.
He was making
I was just mentioning earlier.
He does bad shit on the road. But gut feeling, I think the Saints are overrated. I had the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, but I'm picking the Saints this week. If the Seahawks win, I'll pick them next week. Even if it's against the Niners, I'll still pick them. But right now, I'm just picking the Saints, kind of going back on my word and all this and that. But I will say this. If the Seahawks do win, I think, because Percy Harvin's supposed to play.
Yeah, I was about to say, mention Percy Harvin.
I think that we'll see a thing like Percy Harvin comes in and lights
Who
up the
cares if Percy Harvin plays? He ain't gonna do nothing but get hurt in the first quarter.
Hey,
I'm just saying, if you don't be surprised if it's like a great fairy tale story that the Saints win because of like the Seahawks win because of a last minute Percy Harvin touchdown. I do think the game will be close. I do think this game will be by less than 7 points. But yeah, I could be way off, could be wrong. Seahawks could go in and massacre them, and I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm going back on my word. Just have a gut feeling here about the Saints, and I'm sticking with my gut. So, yeah, I'm registering that as a hero pick. I hope you guys don't mind. I think that's...
Oh, yeah, that is definitely a hero pick. Without question, that's a hero pick.
And then next we can move on to the last game, and my most anticipated game of the weekend.
Same
real
here.
quick.
What?
A random stat real quick about the Chargers. I forget that I just remembered while we were talking about the Saints Seahawks team. The Chargers the Chargers played the Eagles in their home opener. The last 4 or is it 5?
The last four.
Last 4 Super Bowl champions played the Eagles in their season
home
opener.
Yeah, the Saints, the Packers, the Giants, and the Ravens.
The Eagles home opener.
Yeah, the Eagles home opener, and this year was the Chargers.
So I'm just taking it for what it is, but that means the Chargers are winning the Super Bowl if that's right.
That'd be something else, wouldn't it?
That would be insane.
Yeah. So now we got the Niners and the Panthers. I'll start off on this one, I guess. I got the Niners here. And yes, that does mean in my playoff scenario, I have a Saints at San Francisco 49ers, the return of Candlestick Park.
I'm cool with that.
As my NFC Championship game. I just, again, like I said earlier, I think it's really hard to beat a coach as good as Jim Harbaugh twice. I think Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion, is the best coach in the NFL. Sorry to your boy, Phil. I just think...
Whoa.
Say at this moment, I can see that.
At this moment, I just think it's Jim Harbaugh 1, Belichick 2. Hope you don't mind. Jim Harbaugh, I think, is just really what he's done is something that Belichick didn't even do. First year, NFC Championship game. Second year, Super Bowl. Like, that's absurd.
You can make the argument.
No, he didn't make the championship game.
Yeah, he did.
They did?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I forgot. Alex Smith. Yeah, all right, okay, yeah.
If they make the NFC Championship game this year, he'd be the first coach ever to make the conference championship game his first 3 years in a row.
With a team that didn't even make the playoffs the year before he got there.
Yeah. With the team that didn't make the playoffs for like 5 years before he got there. So I think he's a fantastic coach, and I just think it's really hard to beat him twice. And that first game was really close. The Panthers only won by a point. And if you remember, the Niners didn't have Michael Crabtree then. And like I said earlier, I think he's very underrated. And I think he's a key difference maker in this game. I love Cam Newton. I love what the Panthers have done. I think they're a great team. But I just think that game was so close the first time. And Colin Kaepernick in that game played terrible, and they still almost won. And they didn't have Vernon Davis was out for the whole game with a concussion, and Crabtree was gone. Those boys are back now. And I think Kaepernick would be playing better because those boys are back. And it was close last time. And Steve Smith isn't healthy this time. So, yeah, I got the Niners here. Of all the teams, I think they're the most likely to win on the road. And I think most people feel like that, even more so than the Colts. But I got the Niners here. Phil.
This one's hard for me because, looking at my picks and just kind of I hate doing it like this, but like looking at them as a whole, it's like I've got every home team. So it's like, and I hate for this to be the game that I go, gosh, this is like, I could make an argument for either team. It's like, you can go to the Niners side because the Panthers, it's the first time they've been in the playoffs in a long time. First time for Newton.
Don't forget that, yeah. First
time for Cam Newton. Will it be a different? I don't think it's going to, Cam Newton's going to just, suck all of a sudden. I think that, but, I do think it will be somewhat of an effect. I've been in that stadium and on Monday Night Football against the Patriots, and they got pretty loud. So that could be a factor too in the game that I didn't expect before going to that game. But I don't know. The Niners played they really impressed me. Like I said, I want one of those teams that was jumping on them, or one of those people that were jumping on them as they were going into the playoffs. But just don't know, man. Luke Kuechly is a beast. I think he could kind of contain Kaepernick a little bit. God, I can't believe it. I feel like I got to lean towards the Panthers. I don't know. Niners are just, I don't know. I hate it. I don't see any. Oh, this is hard for me. I don't know why it is, but man.
It'll be very sad to see one of these two teams leave.
Exactly. I feel like this is like I just feel like I can't believe this is only the set. Like, this is just. I said going in the NFC side was really intriguing for me because I said outside of the Eagles going all the way, I could see any of these teams winning.
Hey, well, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Well,
outside of the Eagles going all the way. Jesus, thanks.
I just didn't think that. But anyways,
I picked you guys last week.
Was a plus. But I don't want to pick the Niners just because I have picked all home games. So I'm going with the Panthers.
Solid.
I'm gonna be wrong. I'm already gonna. You can put on my record. I'm gonna be wrong on one of these. I have to be. Like, there's just no way that all four win at home, but we'll see.
And before Phil goes 4-0 this weekend.
Yeah, then I go 4-0. Well, if it happens this last week, I'm going to win the 2 Saturday games, and I'm going to lose the 2 Sunday games. So,
no, that means Peyton Manning's going to lose, man. No,
yeah,
don't say that.
So I'm fine with that. Patriots Chargers AFC Championship. Woo! Anyways, but I got the Panthers. I got the Panthers one.
Actually, I know what my team's going to pick, but still.
You do, don't you?
They're your champ. They're your champ.
Oh, yeah, and I'm staying with them.
Yeah, like I had the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, but I had them losing. They're your champions.
I still think they're gonna win it all. That front seven is the nastiest, meanest group of motherfuckers I've seen in a long time.
Star Latulele.
Like I told everyone. The best defensive player in that draft probably won't win Defensive Player of the Year because he's a defensive tackle, but the best defensive player in that draft. The Rutgers stat when he was there. I mean, not Rutgers. The Utah stat when he was there, they averaged they gave up about 70 yards rushing the game, somewhat like roughly 70 some odd yards rushing the game. He missed one game last year. One game. In that one game, they give up 195 yards rushing. I'm just saying. That's how big of a difference he is. I think Frank Gore won't do a fucking thing in this game. I think that this will be the most frustrating game for Jim Harbaugh to call because he will not be able to use the play action because it will be irrelevant. Cam Newton will struggle because the Niners defense is nasty. Yeah, they back to being flat out nasty again. It's gonna be an ugly game, and I think the Panthers will gut out this ugly game solely because they're at home, and I just think that front seven will be in Kaepernick's ass, son. Like I don't want to see either of these teams lose because I like them both. Y'all know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh. You know, he's my Andrew Luck of coaches. You know, I'm just saying. So him and Andy Reid, but yeah. You know, I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Should be fun, man. Like many NFL analysts said all week, this week is the best football weekend of the year.
That is true.
Remember last year, the Broncos, Ravens, the Falcons, Seahawks, Colin Kaepernick going crazy, Matt Schaub ending his career. Like, you know, it was... last year, this was horrible for me because... Like every team I wanted to win, all 4 of those games lost, except the Niners. So, yeah. And Peyton Manning lost last year, and Russell. Oh God, last year sucked. Peyton Manning just win this week, like, or if Peyton Manning doesn't win, Tom Brady lose. Like either one, please don't give me Tom Brady. A Tom Brady victory and a Patriots Chargers conference championship game will really piss me off.
Oh, please let it happen. Please let it happen.
I want Colts and Broncos. I want the Broncos. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if it's Colts Broncos, I'm picking the Colts next week. I promise y'all.
You son of a bitch.
I'm standing on a mountaintop and yelling, "Luck!"
Well, you know what? Andrew Luck is LeBron James, but Peyton Manning is Michael
Jordan. I knew you would do that. I knew that was coming.
Would you take Michael Jordan over LeBron James? Yeah.
I don't know. In their primes, I have no idea.
Fair enough.
Kid, you really want Peyton Manning to beat Andrew Luck in the AFC Championship game and hear Skip Bayless say, "I told you."
That's gonna be worse.
Having Peyton personally defeat Tom Brady would be awesome, but having Peyton lose to Tom Brady would be the worst. Whereas if Peyton loses to Andrew Luck, I can live with that. I like Andrew Luck a lot. So. All right. Next we go to our. Let's do the awards very quickly. Then we'll do the coaches list. For awards, we have MVP. I have the list right here. There's MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player.
Well, I don't know who should be MVP. I have no idea.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Me either.
MVP that's not Peyton Manning. So whoever give Peyton Manning MVP, then give someone else Offensive Player of the Year. Fair?
Do I really have to?
Well, that's what's going to happen. He's not going to get both. They never win both.
Phil, this year he will.
I'm just saying.
I don't think
a different.
Phil, he set a record in yards and touchdowns. He will win both.
Yeah, but did Brady win both that year? The year he did it?
Brady.
Randy Moss won the Offensive Player of the Year.
Randy.
I know. Whatchamacallit. Aaron Rodgers won MVP, but Drew Brees won Offensive Player of the Year. But that's because Drew Brees broke the record. Peyton Manning.
The yards record.
Yeah, Peyton Manning did both. And last year, I'm pretty sure Adrian Peterson also won Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he did.
So, okay. But anyways, we'll start from the bottom up. Comeback Player of the Year. Any names? I got one. I got a pretty clear one that I think should win in the landslide.
Comeback Player of the Year.
Just to be clear, Comeback Player of the Year isn't just coming back from injury. It's also coming back from a down season.
Yeah, becoming.
Dang, that's
a good question.
It is.
I'll let you guys be creative before I tell you the obvious answer.
Oh, I'm trying to think of. Oh, Phillip Rivers, definitely.
Yes, there you go.
Phillip Rivers, like without question. Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
My boy that I said I was supposed to do that last year.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clearly Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Come back, yeah, definitely.
So
is there any other names you can think of? Anybody?
I'm trying to think of somebody, but it's not good. If you can't think about them, they're not going to win. You know what I'm saying?
I guess maybe
we should be for it.
The only reason why you can't say him is because of impact, because his team didn't make the playoffs and he didn't start every game. But as far as improvement, maybe Josh McCown. I think that's fair.
Oh yeah, Josh McCown, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
He should have started the rest of the season. But it is what it is. Y'all know how I feel about Jay Cutler. Though,
did you hear about his contract?
Yeah, I heard about his bullshit contract.
Third or fourth highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
For Jay Cutler.
Yeah, but it's not that contract. If you look at the details of that contract, it's not exactly.
It's Markeem. It's very back heavy. The first 2 years, it's not that much.
But don't he get $50 million guaranteed?
Yeah, but they can cut it. I think the way it's set up, they can cut him after the third year and not lose anything.
But they're giving this nigga $50 million, Phil.
I know, but I'm just saying it's not as big. It is still big.
Again, Markeem, love. It's the same thing with Andy Dalton. You could get him, but can you find someone better?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's better to have someone average than have to go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jay, I'll give him that. Jay Cutler's above average, but he's Jay Cutler. He's a fucking mark, man. Mark-ass buster. That's what he is.
All right. Now
a mark-ass buster.
We might have some different opinions on this one. Coach of the Year.
You want to go first, Phil? Or you want me to go?
You go first. I've got.
There are three names for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little biased and go Andy Reid, but the other two names I got is Sean Payton and who was the other one? Fuck, I lost it that quick. It was Sean Payton and Ron Rivera. Those are my other two.
What about your boy?
What are you talking about?
Your own team.
Oh, Chip Kelly? No, because Chip Kelly was he was weird this year, man. Like there was some times where I was like, yay, and other times where I was like, what is he doing? He don't know how to coach.
Fair enough. He did have a bad coaching stretch early in the season, so I guess that's fair. But okay, so Andy Reid, Rivera, and Sean Payton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your one? Andy Reid?
And Bill Belichick, to be fair.
Fair enough.
Him too.
Phil?
Yeah, that's my two. My two is Andy and Bill, and I know I'm going to look like the biased one, but
which one? Pick one.
I give it to Andy. I do give the edge to Andy, just because the Patriots weren't 2-14 last year. So but with all the injuries, a lot of teams.
Like the problem with the Chiefs was the coach.
Right.
He came, yeah.
So for him to do that, you got to give it to Andy Reid. But I do think Belichick deserves a look at, because all those injuries on another team, they're probably 6-7 wins on another team. Like most teams, like that's a lot. They've got some significant injuries on the team. But
This one's tough for me because
not six. That's a little harsh. Not 6'7", but you know what I'm saying.
No, you are correct.
This one's tough for me because I value Coach of the Year as the best coach that did the best with their roster. And as much as I love Sean Payton, as much as I love Bill Belichick, I think when Drew Brees or Tom Brady's your quarterback, like, you know, I'm not saying it's impossible to do a good job, but I'm not as impressed with that as I am with guys that do more with less. And Andy Reid.
Yeah, are you saying as long as you got Brady, you can win?
No.
He's saying it's just not as like,
it's not,
you know
as
what I mean? Like, because you would point right to the quarterback, like, look at these numbers they're putting up. You know what I mean?
So like, and Andy Reid, that team last year was really held back by a bad quarterback and a terrible coach. I think if a competent quarterback and a competent coach coached that team last year, I think they'd have 7, 8 wins, 6 wins, honestly. Like, I thought they were that good. I just thought Romeo Cornell was an awful coach. So I do give Andy Reid a lot of credit, and he's my second choice for getting to the playoffs. But I'm more impressed with Mr. Ron Rivera because I know you're going to say, oh, but kid, there's so much talent on defense. There's so much talent because of him. All these players, with the exception of Luke Kuechly, are playing so much better than they did last year.
They were so indisciplined last year. You could tell this is what he was planning. Yes. I mean, I got on his ass so bad last year because they just quit on him. It really did.
Yeah, no. But, I agree. But he this year really got them to play above their potential. Yeah, last year the Chiefs had 6 Pro Bowlers on defense. Like, you knew the talent was there. And the Chiefs last year had a lot of close games. Like, I remember they only lost by 6 points to Peyton Manning last year when the Chiefs were terrible. Like, they were the talent. You could tell the talent was there. This Panthers defense last year blew a lot of leads, gave up in the fourth quarter, and Ron Rivera really, really got them on track. So that's why I'm more impressed with him. And my third candidate would actually be Rex Ryan. I think Rex Ryan was put in the hardest coaching situation in all of sports, and he survived. He was given a bad roster with a new general manager, as you all know.
And a rookie quarterback. When new general managers come in and they typically want to hire their own coach. And I'm sure the Jets, Woody Johnson was like, yo, but Rex is still here. We don't want to fire Rex yet. And I'm sure John Henson was like, okay, fine. I'll give him a season. And whatever he does with this roster, whatever, but I'm firing him. But because Rex Ryan did so well with this terrible Jets team, that's why even John Idzik was like, you know what, I can't fire this guy. He's too good. Like, that's really impressive. Like I said, coaching players to better than their actual ability. That's what I like to give credit to. So that's why I got to give Rex Ryan some love there. But I would give it to Rivera. But no complaints to giving it to Andy Reid. None whatsoever. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Phil.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Eddie Lacy. Is there anybody else?
There's another name.
Keenan Allen, which would be my choice.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm going Eddie Lacy. I wouldn't go Keenan. But.
Yeah, I'd go Eddie Lacy as well. I just think Eddie Lacy, Keenan Allen's probably better at his position than Eddie Lacy is at his. But I think Eddie Lacy's had more of an impact on his team than Keenan Allen has. Just me.
I'll say this. I'm glad Eddie Lacy cleaned up his whole use the spin move for everything tactic. Because, my God. That shit would not have worked at this level, and I'm glad he noticed that.
Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, no, my bad. Defensive Rookie. Markeem, start with you.
I guess you got to go with Kiko Alonso because of his numbers in general, even though he kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
But his numbers are so far ahead of everybody, so I guess I'll go with him.
Phil, any names?
Or, you know my choice, but he wouldn't ever win.
What, Starla Tule?
Yeah.
There's too much talent on the rest of that defense.
Yeah. And a motherfucker I laughed at when the Jets took him, Sheldon Richardson's balling his ass off.
He's my choice. And I'm not denying that Starr's probably better than him, but just on that Jets defense, Sheldon Richardson, I saw a lot of Jets games this year. I don't know why. I'm a big fan of Geno Smith, so I really want to see him do well. So I saw a lot of Jets games this year. Sheldon Richardson really, like, as talented as that defensive line is with Muhammad Wilkerson and Quentin Coples and Damon Harrison, I mean, all these guys, Sheldon Richardson really was so impressive. Like, there was never a play where I felt like he did a bad job. He almost always got a sack. He almost always stopped the run. And he has 2 offensive touchdowns. He has more touchdowns than any other defensive player in the NFL, FYI. So he would be my pick, personally. But Phil?
I guess I don't really know. I guess I'll have to go with Kiko Alonso too. I mean, he's the only one I can even think of. I was trying to think of somebody else, but you can't think about him. There's not.
And it was numbers, man. Just because of that.
Yeah.
Because he started out just, oh my god.
But Star Lotulelei is definitely a name I bring up too.
Kiko started out as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Like not rookie, player. Fine. Defensive Player of the Year. Phil, I'll start with you this time.
I think it's a toss-up between two guys. I think it's either... Actually, I think you can say either... I mean... Which one do I want to say? I'd say either Robert Quinn or Robert Mattis, honestly. I think they both beasted. I mean, they're getting, like, 19... Like, both of them getting 19 sacks. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, I think they both... And then Robert Quinn on a Rams... I mean, yeah, he's got Chris Long on the opposite side, but I really like Robert Quinn. I think I'm going to give it to Robert Quinn just because of the team he's on versus Mathis. But they both played great. I think you can give it to either one. And also, I still think Luke Kuechly should get a nod. Should get a nod. He shouldn't win, but that dude just is a difference maker on that team.
Marquine?
Mine is Richard Sherman. Like,
oh yeah, and I didn't even mention him.
Yeah, obviously that's a great name too.
I didn't know he had 8 interceptions. I just looked at it.
Oh my god! Like, as I said, Revis was the closest shutdown guy we had to Dion, and I don't think he's quite Revis in his prime, but he's the closest thing we've had to Revis. Like, yo, man, like this guy,
quarterback in the league by far right now.
Yeah, without question. This guy, you put him on. Hate his attitude all you want, which I would say is more like Dion than Revis was, but every time the ball's in the air and it's on his side, nothing will get past him. It could be picked off and taken the other way. Like, he's breathtaking to watch, dog. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he's fucking incredible, man. I gotta go with Richard Sherman. Incredible.
They need to put him on Jimmy Graham.
Richard, Markeem, how was Richard Sherman at Stanford?
At Stanford, he was great, but I didn't expect this. I thought when he went in the 5th round, I was a little upset. I was like, I guess because they was worried, like he hurt his wrist. I guess they were worried about his wrist, but he was better than a 5th round pick.
Solid. I have 2 names. I actually have some consideration for J.J. Watt. I know no one cares because his team was terrible, but if you look at his numbers, like, he has better numbers than last year, and no one even knows it. It's a damn shame because the Texans were so terrible on offense, and Gary Kubiak, it was time for him to go. So, like, no one notices, but, like...
Yo, J.J. Watt had 80 tackles.
What?
Nigga had 80 tackles this year. Good God.
Yeah. And J.J. Watt had more, he had more swats, he had more sacks, but, like, no one knows. No one knows.
That nigga, no, he did not have more sacks. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like 2 off or something. But
he had 10 sacks. He finished with 10.
But still. His overall defensive rating from PFF is higher this year than it was last year.
Yeah, because he had 7 fucking pass deflections.
Like, he had a great year, but no one knows because his team was so bad. And honestly, like, I think you don't just not give it to the guy just because his team was terrible. I don't think that's fair. I think defensively, he played, like, put this guy in any other team in the NFL, and Jesus, man. Like, you'd be getting J.J. Watt updates every week, just like we were last year. But if I'm not going to give it to him, I will agree with Phil and give it to Robert Quinn. I think Robert Quinn's a stud, and I think Robert Quinn really is a big deal why that Rams team did so well. But Richard Sherman, Robert Mathis, Luke Kuechly, these are all great names. I have no problems with any of them. Okay, the MVP is obviously, but if we had to give it a different person aside from Peyton Manning, who would you give it to, Marquine?
Anybody that says Tom Brady, I will punch you in the throat.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
I'll even say that argument. I think like maybe week 3 or 4. I can't really point it out what week, but it was somewhat legit early on, but it faded very fast.
I don't know. I Drew Brees obviously. Russell Wilson obviously. I think. Who's some other dudes, man?
Your boys,
Cam Newton. Your boy.
MVP? I don't know about MVP.
Hey, no, that's a different boy. Different boy. Shady, son.
LaShawn McCoy and Nick Foles, both of them. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Here, let me tell you my name because you'd agree with me. Aaron Rodgers, because of the Peyton Manning logic.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I was going to say that, but I'm not going to do that.
I know the Peyton Manning logic when he was hurt was that he's the most valuable player because he didn't play and the team was terrible. But Aaron Rodgers came back. That's why I think it's fair to vote for him.
No. Think of somebody else.
Fine. I won't say Aaron Rodgers. My personal vote would be Jamal Charles. I just think Jamal Charles.
Oh, yeah, him too.
Really. Alex Smith played great against the Colts, but Alex Smith, especially the first half of the season when the Chiefs were 9-0, Alex Smith wasn't playing that well, but Jamal Charles was, and Jamal Charles really carried this team a lot throughout the year. I think McCoy had a better season, but I think Charles had a bigger impact on his team than Shady did on the Eagles. Man, if only Jamal. If only Jamal Charles had the quarterback with the highest quarterback rating in the NFL, higher than Peyton Manning on his team, which Shady McCoy had, I would go Jamal Charles personally, but that's just me. I think Drew Brees has played too bad on the road. I think Aaron Rodgers has missed too many games. I think Tom Brady played too bad in the first half of the season. I think Russell Wilson has been playing not as great the second half of the season. So the best name to me is Jamal Charles. If it's not Jamal Charles, Phillip Rivers. Honestly, I know it's a crazy name,
him too.
But,
yeah, him too.
Here, I'm writing this down. I need names. Damn it.
I think you can make a great. I was laughed at when I said it the first time, but now it looks great. Nick Foles. I still think you can make that argument.
I mean, you could, I guess.
Come on, men. Be men.
I thought you said it too soon, Phil, but.
I was just saying take notice. I didn't say, like I said, bring him up into the conversation. And Phil. I was like, whoa. Everybody was like, whoa.
Here, Phil, first name that comes to mind. Who is the second best MVP behind Peyton Manning? Don't even think about it. Just say it.
My first guess was going to be Shady. That was my first.
All right, Shady. Hakeem?
I guess I'll go with Phillip Rivers.
I like Phillip Rivers. I think it's a very good name. All right, next we go to one of my favorite parts of the year, the coaches fired carousel. Last year when we did this part.
Offensive player of the year? Or is that what you technically did? Never mind. Go ahead.
Last year when we did this, we had Markeem's wonderful rant on Pat Shurmur getting fired. You're the Browns. You suck. What do you expect? Which I just thought was awesome. But NFL coaches that got fired, Greg Schiano, Rod Chudzinski, Leslie Frazier, Jim Schwartz, Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak, and I'm missing one.
Mike Shanahan.
Who?
Mike Shanahan.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I think I had them all. Greg Schiano, Rod Chudzinski, Leslie Frazier, Jim Schwartz, Gary Kubiak, Mike Shanahan. All right, we already just one by one down the list.
Leslie Frazier.
Yeah,
he already said him.
Oh, you didn't say that. Oh, sorry.
All right. So this is our closing segment, and Markeem, I want to go to you. Rod Chudzinski. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well deserved. What else is there to say?
I didn't expect that.
It was expected and well deserved.
Deserved? Why was it? I'm just curious. Because you usually you were mad at the Mangini firing, you were mad at the Shurmur firing. Why is Chud deserved?
I mean, dog, think about it this way. It got to the point where it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I think it got to a point where they just didn't expect to win anymore. When you got a team that doesn't expect to win anymore, you gotta go. They're not fighting anymore. You gotta go.
Yeah, they definitely weren't fighting towards the end of the season. They went on a 9-game losing streak or something.
Something like that.
Something horrible. But I know you're not a fan of Chud. The first game of the season, I remember immediately you were like, he's a terrible coach when they faced the Dolphins. I'm just amazed. I don't know. You always get mad at the Browns for firing coaches too early.
I mean, but not this time because he was really bad.
Damn.
He was really bad.
Phil.
But the Shurmur thing, the motherfucker should still have his job. I'm sorry. He should still be that coach.
Phil?
I don't necessarily agree with Markeem. I mean, I see why he got fired, but my thing is teams like Cleveland and teams like First of all, the one that shocks me the most is Tennessee. Like where?
Oh, Mike Munchak. I forgot about him.
Yeah, that's the one you forgot. Okay. Like you're 7-9. Like what would we expect? Like wasn't this his first year or second year?
Third.
Oh, this is his third year?
Are you talking about Chudzinski or Munchak?
No, Munchak.
Third.
I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes a little different. But they finished 7-9. I don't think anybody had Tennessee finishing with 7 wins.
Well, but to be fair to Munchak, they didn't fire him. They told him what they told Joe Philbin. If you want to stay, you have to fire your assistant coaches. And
he didn't want to do it. So
he don't want to fall on the sword.
That makes okay. I didn't know that. That makes sense.
And here's the other thing about Munchak. He lost Jake Locker for like most of the season. Nigga was gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's like. But anyways, my thing about these teams like this.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like I just thought about that. That's bullshit. Like the nigga lost his starting quarterback and still won 7 games. That's bullshit.
Exactly.
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. That's bullshit.
Can we have a "You're the Titans" line, please?
Yeah, well, not. No. It's not as bad as the Browns.
But the Titans are also a mediocre franchise.
Yeah, mediocre. Yeah.
But you say it. You're the Titans. You're mediocre.
You're the Titans. You suck.
Brandon's not gonna like that. But the Titans don't really fall into this, but the Browns is special. Okay, look, I'm sorry. There's certain. I know there's this whole conception is not the right word. But this whole perception is actually where I'm
about to say conception. We talking about sex here?
The perception of like, oh well, we were 4-2. We sucked last year. We should be able to make the playoffs the next year because teams have done it. Like there's one team every year that does it. But there's one team that does it every year because they just have a bad year. It's like, I mean, it's like the talent's there. They just need a coach, like the Chiefs. They just need a coach and a quarterback with a brain. Like it's like. This I understand the win mentality, like win now mentality, but Cleveland needs to take a look at a coach that's doing work at St. Louis. That's Jeff Fisher. That dude is getting time. He's slowly working. I'm not saying it's gonna happen next year. It could, but like that, he's gonna have that Rams team competing even more than they already have.
Then they're gonna break that glass ceiling soon.
I mean, it's a tough division. If you look at that division now, I mean, it's gonna be tough just to even come out of that division like with enough wins, but. Like I really do because they were 1-5 in the division this year. So, like I really think like teams need to start giving. I mean, I'm not saying that was that coach, but I'm just saying you can't. No coach is no brand new coach like that unless you're an Andy Reid type deal that have been in the league a long time is gonna get it done that fast. It's just impossible. And I feel like and obviously there's pieces and it's just like. If you bring in a coach like that every year, that doesn't even they're going to change the mindset of the team. They're going to change things in the team, and then they're going to draft another quarterback because they don't like the quarterback that some other coach that lasted 1 year drafted. And it's going to be an ending cycle. I mean, they showed a picture. I think actually Big Rat was the one that tweeted it of Cleveland. It's like it was an ending cycle. Like hire a new coach, hire a quarterback, or sign a quarterback, draft a quarterback, and then suck all season, fire a coach, get rid of your quarterback. Start all over, like
that picture. Yeah, that picture's awesome.
Yeah, it's if you can put that in the description, I think people should see it. But
I'll find it. I'll put it in the description. It's an awesome picture.
There's certain teams that I think Cleveland's one of those teams. They don't understand that. You got to give it time. Like, and then I feel like 2 years is a lot more respectable. I mean, but you just got to if you give it time, your team can eventually get to that point where they compete on a consistent basis. If you don't give it time, they may have 1 year, good year, and they're going to go right back to mediocrity or even worse than that. It's like even if they had.
That's a good point, Phil. That's a good point.
I get the win now mentality, but you're not a win now team. You're a team that the only way they're going to win now is if not everybody can draft Andrew Luck. It's just not going to
Correction. Nobody can draft Andrew Luck.
There you go. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen here. So it's just Cleveland's like, oh, we can, they'll probably get Manziel will go to die in Cleveland. So good luck with that.
No, I really want Johnny Manziel to go to Cleveland. I think that'd be awesome. Cleveland will be on Monday Night Football like every week. We get Johnny fucking football.
I think that's like ideal for him.
I don't know.
Because Josh Gordon.
I think he's going to go to Cleveland to die.
I mean, don't think about it. Josh Gordon's there. Another security blanket like Mike Evans was for. But
shut the fuck up. But
yeah.
Let me just say that everything Phil says is 100% correct. Phil, that was great analysis on your part actually, and I completely agree. I had issues with Chud as a coach, but I don't know. I mean, yes, I know you.
With the Raiders.
If you know the guy's not the answer, then just move on already. I get that, but I wasn't convinced that he wasn't the answer. I would have given him another season, especially with this great draft Cleveland's supposed to have now. Because when that team was fighting at the start, they were fighting hard, and I think when when Jason Campbell proved that he wasn't the answer and Brian Hoyer got hurt, I think Chud gave up, which is irresponsible as a head coach. But if you give Chud,
Brian Hoyer coming back, ain't I even think about it.
Yeah, so if you give Chud a great coach with a great quarterback, I mean, I see no reason why he wouldn't have that team fighting.
Hey, who knows? Hoyer might be the answer, not Manziel. Who knows?
We'll see. But shame what happened to Chud. And the other one, Mike Munchak. Like I said, I think it was kind of dumb, but I also kind of understand. He was given 3 years, and I think Peter King wrote a great article about this. Mike Munchak's biggest pitch was that they would be able to get every yard possible. They paid an offensive guard and an offensive tackle the highest paid in each of their positions in the NFL. I forget their names. And they had Chris Johnson, and Mike Munchak's pitch was that we'll be like a tough running team and we will get any yard we want.
Tough running and Chris Johnson do not go in the same sentence.
This is true, but his pitch was that we'd get every yard possible. Peter King was awesome when describing the situation. When the Titans faced the Cardinals, they were down by 1 point. They had just scored a touchdown. They were about to kick the extra point. There was a penalty on the extra point on Arizona, and it would have given Tennessee the ball at the 1 yard line for the 2-point conversion. And Mike Munchak, instead of taking the 2-point conversion, which all they needed was to get 1 yard to get the 2-point conversion and win the game, instead kicked the field goal, and they went into overtime and they lost to the Cardinals. So I get that. But yes, he didn't have Jake Locker the whole year. I get it. It wasn't fair. Next batch of coaches.
Oh, one thing real quick. I just remembered when you were saying that about the Browns, and I know I don't know if you said. I don't think you said it there, but you said this before. That you think it went against, but I don't see how this man. I mean, I know that we have all the injuries and all that stuff we have. This man competed with the Patriots. I mean,
yeah,
you got to give him.
If he wins that game,
was a job to me.
If he wins that game, I don't think he gets fired.
I don't think so either. But I think he competed. I mean, he only lost by an onside kick. I mean, that's just
and a bullshit pass interference call.
Well, you get those all game. How many times do you get those?
I mean, whatever. We're not getting into this.
Bad call.
Of all the days, did I really need to have this today, the day after FSU won a national championship?
Yeah, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
Anyway. But okay, we'll do both of these at once. Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan, because it's a similar theme. Just like two coaches.
It's a very similar thing.
Here, Markeem, just both of these, one fell swoop.
Well, I'll say this. Shanahan's a little bit different because he tried to sabotage the team as he was on his way out the door. And that just sucks, man. Kubiak's a good dude. He knew he was going to get fired. He didn't do that. You know what I mean? Shanahan will probably never coach again, I think.
He shouldn't. What he did was terrible.
You saw what?
I said what he did was bad, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he'll ever coach again because I just don't think he want to.
What did I miss? Did I miss something?
I was talking about Shanahan.
Yeah, what did I miss?
I said I don't think he'll ever coach again.
No, what did he do on his way out? I didn't know.
You didn't read
Shanahan?
Dude.
You didn't see all this stuff? Him benching RG3 randomly?
He benched RG3. He exposed Kirk Cousins. He leaked reports to the media that RG3 and Dan Snyder had an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah. RG3 had like a front office like role, like he would be able to just stay and do what he wanted with Dan Snyder, which is very inappropriate. You know what I mean?
Well, I hated it. I wanted Mike Shanahan at the end of last season. So
on the YouTube take episode with me and Markeem, where I posted a link to an article about Mike Shanahan from a Redskins fan, and the article was amazing. You need to read it. It's quite great.
All right, I will do that.
I mean, but the thing is, Gary Kubiak, I just think in game he tried not to lose instead of playing to win. Yep. He didn't really listen to the fan base because he kept Schaub out there too long, even though they all wanted him gone. I know Schaub's your boy, kid, but the fan base wanted him gone, and something needed to happen, and he waited too long to pull the trigger. And he tried to sabotage Case Keenum by putting him out there against the Chiefs when they've been playing amazing. Like, here, you go play these guys. And you suck, so everyone can see, hey, Schaub should be the guy playing. Backfired on his ass, but that's what he tried to do. And Yeah, I'm not saying he deserved to get fired per se, because I think he did do some great things. I mean, the year before the Knicks made the playoffs. You know what I mean?
2 years
Just,
before.
2 years before. Yeah,
No, both years. Yeah.
Yeah, both years. That's what I meant. Yeah. So I'm just saying it's just weird.
Do you think he'll coach again?
Yeah, without question.
All right. Next we got the next.
Oh, Phil, you got something to say?
No, I mean, I like I said, I wanted Shanahan's head after allowing RG3 to back in that game last year. So
Fair enough.
And I haven't liked Shanahan since he was with Denver his last couple years with Denver. So
that's proper enough. We'll go over 2 names, then we'll go to the big one, in my opinion, the one that I'm excited to talk about. But the 2 names before that are Greg Schiano and Leslie Frazier. Markeem, start again, because I know Greg Schiano was your boy at Rutgers.
He's a guy that's stuck in the wrong century. He should be in the NFL. He wants a job where he can control everything. He's a college guy. That's where he need to stay. He go back to college. I wouldn't have been shocked. Well, obviously because of how bad he's done. But if he was still in college at Rutgers, he would have the Texas job right now.
Wow.
I guarantee you that. So he's a college guy. He needs to just go back to college. Leslie Frazier, I heard, was a coward. he was a coward. Well, I mean, obviously from the kicker, it was named Chris Cluey, ain't
yes.
it? Yes. But he just seems like he's weak. So if you're weak, you can't coach anything. So
Frazier to me just looked like your carbon copy of a coordinator never meant to be head coach.
Oh, son of a bitch! He got signed as Tampa Bay defensive coordinator. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He went with Lovey because he's worked with Lovey before, or something like that. But yeah, I mean,
they should be good too. They should be good. Seriously.
I think he's a great coordinator. Shouldn't be a head coach. Same thing how I feel. Well, not the exact same, but anyway.
Rex Ryan, yeah.
Rex Ryan, because I'm glad Rex Ryan's back, because as long as he's there, they're not going to do anything with us, so we're good.
Yeah, I feel the same about Leslie Frazier. Greg Schiano, yeah, I just think he was in the wrong sport. Frazier, yeah, it just always seemed he was a little too feeble-minded for the NFL. He could still be a great coordinator, but I think a main knock on him was that Vikings defense this year was terrible. And he's a defensive-minded coach. I don't care if you're not a coordinator anymore. You can't let that happen.
Yep, I agree.
Now, the one that many of us, Markeem's favorite team Markeem's favorite head coach, Jim Schwartz.
Play calling. Let's see. We'll see everything that's wrong. Play calling. Motivating his team, disciplining his team, getting the guys to actually work with you. You know what I mean? Instilling your brand of football, what you actually want to do. Establishing a run. Being not being as predictable as you were on offense. Having your guys on defense actually stay home and not give up big plays. He was the most inadept coach at all these things. He is one of the worst coaches in all of sports. I don't understand how you have a team with so much talent. You have Megatron, Matthew Stafford, Reggie Bush, Nate Burleson when he was healthy. You got
Ndamukong
Suh on defense. Nick Fairley. Kyle Vanden. I do not believe Kyle Vanden Bosch is this bad. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Yeah. How can you do what he did when he was in Tennessee, his first year in Detroit, and be this bad now? I don't believe that. I know. It's Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is fucking terrible. The team always in and out of trouble. And Ndamukong Suh is now a grown-ass man. Why is he still kicking people in the nuts? Why is he still stomping people in the head? Why is he still grabbing people by the face mask and flinging them to the ground? Why is this guy who is a big fucking baby on your roster? You're supposed to be a coach. You're supposed to be the disciplinarian. Why is this happening? Why does your team fuck up in big moments? Why you got guys doing uncharacteristic things in the end of games? Immature, high school, Bush League bullshit. He got fired and it's well deserved. The motherfucker was terrible. I'm done.
And
that's why I said I will never pick that team again, mainly because of Jim Schwartz. I still won't because they're the Lions, but mainly because of him. Terrible.
I'll piggyback back on the back of that and just say you have a no Aaron Rodgers Packers team. You have a no Jay Cutler hurt Bears team with a new
Josh McCown was better anyway. So.
With the new head coach. Well, that's true, but with the new head coach. And I'm kidding, Phil. An irrelevant Vikings team. This is your year to get it done. You don't get it done you deserve to be fired. And that's exactly what happened. You didn't get it done. With all that talent Markeem just went over, you have to get it done. You didn't get it done, there's the door. Like, it's the bottom line. I mean, I'm not as bad on I'm not as going to attack Schwartz as much as Markeem because I think he did it enough in himself, but and he's right about everything he said. But
and I'll never forget that guy that left a comment on our video. He was like, the Lions are more talented than you say. I'm well aware they were talented. They're better than they were not better than we say. They're not better than anything anyone says because they're the Lions. That's who they are.
I mean, and honestly, look at the Lions the same way I look at the Cowboys. And people are going to be like, oh, no, what are you talking about? It's because those are two teams that won't change their mindset. They have the same mindset. Cowboys need a coach that's going to go in there and slap some people, like, honestly. But and they need to be able to go in there and not have Jerry Jones even look at them.
I hate to sound like an asshole, but I'm just going to say it. If they want to actually win at football, Jerry Jones has to either step down or he has to die. I mean, it's that simple.
Well,
I mean, I don't mean to say it like that because he might be like Al Davis, want to stay around forever. You know
well, that's what I would say. I hate to do this because he rest in peace, Al Davis. He did a lot for the NFL. But I said the same thing about Al Davis. The Raiders would not win as long as he was still alive. Like, I'm sorry to win it, but I know that's harsh, but
no,
I mean, it's holding that team back, and that is what Jerry Jones is doing to the Dallas Cowboys.
I've heard many people say, and I fully agree with them, that the reason a lot of the worst teams in the NFL are like this for a long time is because of the owner. If you look at Dan Snyder of the Redskins, and I think his hatred is overrated, but Dan Snyder of the Redskins, Jerry Jones of the Cowboys, Paul Brown of the Bengals for a long time, like a lot of these owners really...
Paul Brown is still terrible, but...
Yeah, he got lucky. But I'm just saying, like, some of these terrible owners, like, it's almost impossible to develop a good team when owners can really hold you back. So I get what you're saying about Jerry Jones.
I think Dan Snyder gets a bad rep because he actually does try and make these niggas better. He don't say much. He's just rich, and people don't like him because he's rich. I don't think that's fair, but he actually has tried to make this team better. It just hadn't really worked out.
But yeah, I fully agree with you guys on Jim Schwartz. He had to go. In my opinion, he had to go worse than anybody on this list, and that includes Mike Shanahan. And Mike Shanahan was sticking a knife in his own team the last 3 weeks. Because Mike Shanahan, like, RG3 super talented, and the offense is talented, but that roster isn't exactly a great roster. Like, I thought the Lions, I mean, unquestionably, I'm sure we can all agree, unquestionably the Lions are, like, the most talented team of all these teams left.
We're talking about? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, nigga.
By you can make the argument that the Lions are maybe more talented than some of the teams that made the playoffs this year.
Than the Chargers? I'd say they're more talented than the Chargers.
Like, if you look
I'd say they're more talented than maybe the Eagles, maybe.
They just don't have cornerbacks. They're cornerbacks.
You could argue they're more talented than the Packers, minus the quarterback position. I mean, as far as the rest of the team on the Packers is concerned.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe we'll with Megatron in the playoffs. I mean, we did, but
so that's all I got to say about Schwartz. But yeah, those coaches suck. They're gone. They gone. And before we go off the air, is there any coach that you guys have in mind that probably should have been fired that was kept safe?
I think Geno Smith saved Rex Ryan's job. I'm sorry. I just don't. I see what you're saying. I think you made a good point about Rex Ryan, but I think, and I'm glad he's coming back because I just don't think the Jets are ever going to go any further with Rex Ryan. I think he's a coordinator. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but he's never going to be successful as a head coach. I say successful NFC championships, but I don't think the Jets ever win a Super Bowl with Rex Ryan.
First off, I fully agree with you. And Geno Smith was very inconsistent all season. He had a terrible stretch of games, but the last 4 games in the season, I think it's one of the most underrated stories of the NFL, that the last 4 games of the season against the Raiders, the Browns, even the Panthers for a little bit, and especially against the Dolphins, Geno Smith played really, really well. And I think no one notices that because it's those 3 teams. But Geno did play well against those 3 teams.
And also just the fact that he's a rookie that, you got to give him, I think that's the part that kind of saved right there. They're like, well, he's a rookie. Rex, we'll see what Rex can do with him in his second year. So, yeah.
And I do agree with Phil in that I think because this year, like, the Jets are supposed to get like a makeover. They're supposed to, like, get a bunch of talent, like, sign a bunch of free agents, draft a bunch of skill positions. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 8-8 again next year. I think that's what it is with Rex Ryan. I think with Rex Ryan, you're guaranteed to never be terrible, but I think you'll never be great.
And the thing that Rex Ryan brought to the table is he's like, I'm not going to kiss Belichick's rings. Well, now that's kind of faded now. Not saying that he beat us at times and we beat them, but I'm saying like it's just that kind of flair, I guess is the right word. I don't know that he brought to the table. You
say he's not doing it now. I mean, yeah, he should have stuck with his identity. I mean, I know it didn't look good, but
but look what it like when like it's just. I mean, I hated Rex Ryan. I don't care about him now because I want him there. You know, at one time I hated him because of the fact that he would talk smack and
they would always compete with y'all.
He would compete, yeah. And it's like now it's like, which they did compete this year with us, but
yeah, I do like Rex. I think he's a good coach. I just don't think I agree with Phil. I think that no matter how talented of a team he has, I don't know if he'd ever cross that bridge to the Super Bowl because he does make some questionable in-game decisions.
Can I throw a name out early?
There's another. I was gonna let's see if you're saying him first.
Mike Smith.
That's it, Mike.
Hell yeah.
That team was fucking loaded. I don't give a damn. I don't want to hear shit about them being injured. Shut the fuck up. Okay. That team was loaded enough for them to not be awful. That is terrible. Anybody that says Tom Coughlin can all kiss my ass. Because the problem with that team was offensive line and Eli Manning. I don't want to hear nothing else but that. Anybody that says Tom Coughlin can really kiss my ass.
I actually agree, and I don't like the Giants, so I agree. I don't want to see why anybody wants his head right now.
Mike's
trademark. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, so he's exempt from getting benched. Yeah, whatever, nigga.
Mike.
You're playing that bad, nigga, you get benched. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Mike Smith is really a great name. Mike Smith's another one of the guys that me and Brian were a few weeks ago thinking that he's an overrated coach. Like Chuck Pagano was a name we mentioned. Mike Smith was another one we talked about. I always blamed him more than Matt Ryan for why that Falcons team could always just got outcoached by better coaches.
Yeah, they didn't just lose; they get killed, man.
And I think you also, I mean, we talked about it in nauseam, but I mean, include Marvin Lewis in that as well. I think
Marvin Lewis and another good name. And Phil, I remember you last year thinking he should have been fired. Another good name is Jason Garrett. And I don't
because he's not the coach that Dallas needs. Like,
yo, are they keeping him again?
Yeah, he came back.
God damn, man.
There's two things. Yes, obviously you can blame Jerry Jones, and you can blame that Tony Romo was hurt for the last game. But and Jason Garrett has never had a losing season, but he's never had a winning one either. 8-8, 3 straight seasons.
I'm sorry, that's me.
Crazy.
That's a walking piece of mediocrity.
That means that the Dallas Cowboys are okay with mediocrity.
For 17 years. 17 years. Oh, hey, not 18. 18 years was the last time they won a playoff game.
By the way, if you...
In my Stephen A. Smith.
No, whoa.
18 years.
They won a playoff game in 2009, Marquis.
My bad. The last time they won a championship, my bad.
You need to watch Stephen A.'s rant or listen to it. I think they put on the podcast or whatever about.
No, my bad. One playoff game in 18 years.
He goes. Basically, to sum it up, he's like, last time I checked, America wasn't okay with mediocrity.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus.
Of course, then he went on to say that the Patriots would be the America's team, and I'm sure people don't want to hear that, but anyways.
No, they are America's team at this point.
Although
America team.
Most of America hates them, though.
Yeah, most of America hates the Patriots.
Most of America hated the Cowboys. Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Like when the Cowboys are really good, they were as hated as they were loved. The Patriots are practically the same thing. Everybody loves and hates Tom Brady. What the fuck? And they actually get it done. Like, why can't that be, like, I don't even like the Patriots like that, but why can't that be America's team? Not Tony Romo interception or DeMarcus Ware underachieving or Mo Claiborne shattered confidence and Jerry Jones talking about how we gonna do this and we gonna do that, but nothing happens. Jason Garrett crying on the sideline. Can we get a team that actually comes and shows the fuck out every week with an actual leader and not this team in quotes with an owner that's more concerned about being on fucking CNN and on the cover of GQ and in fucking Fortune 500 and instead of winning football games? Can we do that? Can that happen? Can we have the Kraft family instead of Jerry Jones? Can that happen? Shit, man.
And when
I would even take the Steelers. I would even take the Steelers.
Don't say that.
Why them? Why them? Because they play in Dallas? Because Jerry Jones overpaid for a fucking stadium that looks like an amusement park? Is that why? Is that why they?
Anyways,
Oh, why are we ranting?
Yes, that was a few good rants there, but good firing you tonight, Markeem.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
It really matches. I'm telling you, it matches the Stephen A. one today. That's why I'm laughing even harder.
I would like to thank all our viewers for listening in. Welcome to our return. We're back. We'll do another one next week, obviously, which actually is guaranteed not to be as long as this one was because we had to cover a lot of ground. But the college football season is over, unfortunately. We'll all miss it.
Yeah, wake me up when it's August again.
And very soon, soon we'll have Ben back on the show. His debut on the show, and soon me, Markeem, and Chase. Once the football season ends, we'll probably start getting back to basketball and all that. So thank you all for listening. With that, we're out with YouTube Take. Bye.
Go Patriots.
Go Colts.